items first. We wanted to get through the Obamacare repeal, so we'd have an extra almost $1 trillion to put toward tax reform. So that's why we were holding back on that. But in the end, the tax reform is going to go through about this time anyway. So
yeah, why on Obamacare repeal, Tim? Why can't we just do something so simple as A, let us buy across state lines. B, let the insurance companies offer those plans that many of our listeners used to have that had the high deductible and they were catastrophic coverage. You know what I mean? If we can just get two simple things like that done, that opens up the market again, because so many people, like I think one of our listeners, Ken, lost his coverage because of Obamacare put so many stipulations in saying you have to do this, you have to do this, you have to provide birth control, which now Trump has undone, right?
Thankfully.
Is there a way that we can get just something as simple as let the market go back to the way it was?
Not with McCain in office, we can't. I mean, even reconciliation can't help us there. Even, no 60 votes, whatever. I can't remember the term now.
Yeah.
We can't seem to get that done because we got some recalcitrant Republicans.
So is that what it is, Tim? No matter what you guys do in the House, we're not going to get it past the Senate. Is that what I'm reading?
Well, that is what you're reading for the most part. And a couple of items you mentioned already, we've already taken up in the House. Sam Johnson and I, for instance, put through a bill on associated health plans. That's in the Senate. The purchase across state lines would be very easy to get across the House. I've co-sponsored that legislation already, but it's going to go nowhere in the Senate. That's the reason reconciliation was attempted to be used for the main portion of Obamacare and repeal that dealt with revenue or expenditure. That's what it has to do. So that's the challenge. But the Vice President informed us last week when he met with us in our tax reform retreat that we had in the House. He said, listen, the President is ready and willing and expecting to sign a health care policy reform plan before the end of 2018. And we have one more reconciliation approach we can take. That's for the 2019 budget, and that will be used for the reconciliation to get to the President's desk at least something like Graham Cassidy. And I think in talking with Bill Cassidy just this last Wednesday, he feels that the President has learned a lot from the whole process, and the Senate has learned a lot from the process, and they're almost there. And now if they can use this time period to have the hearings that John McCain wants and the regular order that John McCain wants, et cetera, we can get across the line. So I'm still hopeful that before the end of this term, 2018, we will have a chance to send a basic repeal to the President.
Okay. And so let me shift gears here as we wind down. Last thing, do you think the President will walk away from the Iran deal? And what is Congress's thoughts on getting out of that?
I hope so. In the House, we sent a letter to Obama expressing our displeasure and frustration that he had done that on his own, and informing him that because he'd done it on his own, there was no binding relationship for Congress to support it in any way. The President, our present President, understands that. I believe he will send it back to us to deal with. And we know that Iran has proven, since that deal was signed, that it wasn't worth the paper it was signed on. They've reneged on almost every part of that agreement, and the past administration looked the other way or said, bad boys, now let's stop that and do it again, or I'm going to put some more sanctions on. Well, that was a paper tiger. We have a different tiger in the White House right now, and a Congress, I think, that is willing to be very, very explicit on what's going on and have strong expectations that Iran will obey.
So why did Trump certify last time?
Certify what?
Well, Trump certified that they were conforming to the agreement a few months ago, and now it's got to come up. He's got to confirm it again in order. He either does or doesn't. Last time he did. I'm still curious why he confirmed it last time. Whether he'll do the same thing this time, I don't know the motive.
Tim, are we losing you?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can.
Now we can. Yeah,
we're getting close to Ann Arbor, and sometimes I think they block conservative cell.
I do that too when I'm talking to somebody and I want to pass it off. Must be bad sell. Oh, gotta go.
No, so what Ed was asking was, Trump last time, and this is news to me, certified something, but this time he has
to certify every 3 months that they're conforming to the agreement. Is that right, Tim?
Yeah, I think all that was saying I haven't had time to look at it yet. It's too soon in my term. I don't have the people that have been confirmed or even in place to help me on that. And basically for negotiating purposes, did it. That would be my best understanding. But right now, I think he has had plenty of counsel saying, number one, Mr. President, a president doesn't have the authority to make that type of agreement without Congress supporting it. And so I really think he's going to send it back to us, just like he did with DACA.
Okay. And then let's get one last question in, Tim. How about infrastructure bill? Do we see anything on the horizon about infrastructure bill? Can something be done?
I have a request. If there is anything, federal infrastructure funds, can you see that there's a rider in there that says no more support on a federal level for roundabouts?
I like the roundabouts.
I
don't know
them.
why you guys complain.
I hate them. Go ahead, Tim. How do you stand on roundabouts, Tim? This is a very important voter issue.
Yeah. Well, I personally like roundabouts as long as they're big enough to get a truck around it. And
yes.
We've got a number of them out there in my district that are semi-trucks have a great difficulty in getting around them without going up over curbs and over cars alongside. So that's a problem.
Yeah.
Let me say quickly, infrastructure bill is scheduled for 2018, probably the spring of 2018. That's been on our calendar to move that. We've got, for 2018, we want to have the tax reform bill signed by the end of the year. Then we go on immigration reform, infrastructure, and, oh, by the way, entitlement reform. The entitlement reform, which speaks specifically to workfare, is an 85% issue across the United States by the voters. They believe that there ought to be a social safety net, but that people ought to be encouraged to get back into the marketplace, earning their own way for able-bodied, employable individuals. So that will be part of our schedule, which has been planned, at least in the House. I don't know what the Senate has planned, but the House calendar.
Tim?
Cheap Korean phone.
Tim? All right. It looks like we lost Tim somehow. All right. Well, anyway, thank you, Congressman Tim Walberg, 7th District, U.S. Congress. And I think we're getting... Derek, how much time we got left? Oh, that's the end of it. Well, look at that. Timing was perfect. Well, Tim, sorry about the dropped call. The People's Republic of Ann Arbor did you in. But until next week, go to thedailydrift.com. It's the news
you need to know.
And there you go. All right. We'll see you then. Bye-bye.